The battlecruiser Petr Velikiy, named after Peter the Great, continues to patrol its assigned area and protect all the ships in the group. And now we're going to talk with the commanding officer of the ship about the goals and objectives of this campaign. Awarded with the Order of Nakhimov, the battlecruiser Petr Velikiy is one of the most powerful attack ships in the Navy, as well as the largest ship in the world that doesn't carry aircraft. Like a huge shield, it shelters a group from aerial attacks. Regarding the nautical characteristics of the ship, what is Petr Velikiy capable of? If we're talking about its characteristics and abilities, the battlecruiser Petr Velikiy is unlimited. Unlimited in terms of seaworthiness, unlimited in terms of sea endurance, unlimited in terms of its self-sufficiency. The ship's air defenses consist of a very complex structure that includes high-angle weapons and active and passive radar jammers. It allows you to build a distributed defense and tailor it either to the battlecruiser or to all the ships in the aircraft carrier group. Its air defenses include the Kinjal and Kortek close-in weapons systems, and a universal AK-130 artillery mount. There are more than 20 target channels on the ship that allow it to fire at several air targets at the same time. The main means of defense against massive attacks from the sky is the S-300FM collective close-in weapons system. Our crew managed to take a look at this unique weapon from the inside, or as they say, under the deck, and learn how the vertical launch drum mechanism systems operate. The rotating drum ensures the delivery of new missiles to the launching tube. Now, one rocket is loaded. After it's launched, the drum will automatically turn and a new missile will be ready for activation. It looks like this. One turn on drum 4. It's time to shout armed and leave this basement. The S-300FM close-in weapons system is able to detect and destroy high-speed and maneuverable air targets from a distance of up to 200 kilometers. In terms of mechanics, how does the launch happen? How does the missile understand where it should fly? Once a missile is ready, the launch takes place, and the missile is kicked out of the launcher via catapult to a height of 30 meters. Then, a propulsion engine is triggered and the missile heads towards its target. And how fast are all these lids able to open and fire out the missiles if it's needed? In battle mode, the lid opens in 2 seconds. The time between missile launches is 3 seconds. You mean, and how many launching tubes are there? There are 12 launching tubes. And the ship's carrying 125 air defense missiles. But Petr Velikiy's capabilities are not limited to defense. Powerful offensive weapons allow this ship to neutralize whole groups of sea vessels. About the Granit missile system, what potential purposes could it serve? Our cruiser is a guided missile ship, so its main weapon is the Granit air missile complex. The main objective of this cruiser is to defeat surface ships and enemy groups, and it was equipped to defeat the carrier strike groups of a potential enemy. That's why this air missile system was created. It's quite an effective and powerful weapon. And what if an enemy is trying to utilize underwater weaponry? In this case, a formation is accompanied by the destroyers Severomorsk and Vice Admiral Kulakov. They are intended to detect and destroy submarines, torpedoes, and sea mines. But in reality, these are universal fighting units able to destroy above-water ships, airplanes, and missiles. Have there been any specific cases on the ship, well, when it was necessary to give a warning and I guess show that we see you guys? I will give you an example of an unsuccessful attempt to track our naval aircraft carrier group. It was a Dutch diesel electric submarine allegedly called the Walrus. Through the active efforts of the ships, it was forced out of the area and away from the navigation route, cutting its mission short. The joint efforts of the ship's hydrophones and the crew piloting the Ka-27 Naval Assault Transport helicopter allowed the submarine's coordinates to be identified at a distance of up to 20 kilometers. But in order to detect a submarine, it's also necessary to know the characteristics of the environment in which a signal is made. The type of vertical distribution, of the speed of sound, the density of the water. Everything depends on the temperature of water, the suspended matter located there, the shape of the seabed, and also, of course, the time of year. The main weapon of the large destroyers is a unique sonar system called Polynome. Its weight is almost 800 tons. It can search for submarines at distances of up to 50 kilometers. We have a third type of sound speed distribution. It's not a secret, of course. The most effective way here is to look at the ideal location for maneuvering a submarine. I mean at a depth of 80 to 100 meters, which we determine based on all the characteristics put together. This includes the water environment and our capabilities in that environment in terms of radiation detection. By definition, its functions, formulas, and other components. Let's take a look at what's visible. What do we see? As of now, we see noise spikes from our ship sailing nearby. It's the uneven seabed. That's called reverberation. By the way, now we can see a typical indicator, the brightness. This can actually mean there's a submarine. Based on its characteristics, we hear that the tone of this signal is higher than the overall tone. In other words, the tone of the interfering environment. We can see that the length of this mark, if you move the drift sight, is 2 degrees in relative bearing terms. Based on the distance, it could easily be a submarine. The destroyer's anti-submarine equipment includes the Rastru B universal missile system, which can hit not only submarines but also surface ships, and RBU 6000 rocket launchers, which can destroy torpedoes and submarines in the vicinity of ships, as well as guided anti-submarine torpedoes. The device behind me that looks like a fan is actually a reactive depth charge projector. It's for shooting down torpedoes. However, it can also be bad news for an enemy submarine. It has a firing range of up to 7 kilometers. However, that's not the only way to hunt submarines. There are 2 torpedo tubes on the ship. Sergei, how many torpedoes are there on the Severomorsk and how are they launched? There are 8 torpedoes, 2 4-pipe torpedo tubes designed to destroy enemy submarines and surface ships. What is their range? What do they look like? They are effective from a distance of up to 17 kilometers. That's right, and at depths of up to 1,500 meters. In addition, Severomorsk and Vice Admiral Kulikov are carrying an air group of 2 Ka-27 helicopters on board. These machines are able to detect and destroy submarines at a depth of 500 meters.